In the heart of Lagos stood a place known as Harmony Court. On the outside, it looked like a peaceful compound, but if you stepped inside, you'd quickly realize that peace was a distant dream. The air was always filled with the hum of noisy generators, children arguing over games, the clatter of Mama Nkechi's wooden spoon against the pot as she smoked fish by the gate, and the endless drone of a small mechanic shop where the sound of tools clashing rang through the air. But the loudest voice of all was that of Chief Olamide, the self proclaimed master of the compound. Chief Olamide was in his 50s, short and rotund, with a stomach that arrived at his destination a full 2 steps before the rest of him. He wore bright, oversized shirts that barely fit over his belly, a fake gold chain that caught the sun at every angle, and slippers that slapped the ground with every step he took. Chief Olamide believed that being a landlord made him the ruler of everyone's fate. He proudly declared it loud enough for the entire street to hear. This compound is my kingdom, he would boast. You are all lucky to even live here. If you don't like it, pack your things and take your struggles elsewhere. Behind his back, the tenants had their own name for him, the king of chaos. No one dared speak it to his face, though, as his wrath was unpredictable. Cross him, and you could lose your door, your water, and maybe even your dignity. Chief Oleme didn't care about age, gender, or status. He ruled with an iron fist. Take Mama Nkechi, for instance. She was a fishmonger who specialized in smoked fish and could always be found by the gate, hanging her fish on a makeshift rack as the smoke billowed from the small fire beneath. The smell of smoked fish filled the air, attracting customers, but also drawing in swarms of flies and mosquitoes. And it was the mosquitoes that drove Chief Olamide mad. Every evening you could hear him yelling from his balcony, Mama Nkechi, how many times do I have to warn you? Don't turn my compound into a fish market. Keep that smoke away from my walls, or I will lock your shop. And Mama Nkechi, always confident and sharp tongued, would retort from a smoke filled corner, lock your own destiny first, Chief. It's my fish that's disturbing you, but you're the one always sending bad energy. This exchange was a nightly spectacle for the rest of the tenants, and the entire compound would pause to listen, waiting to see who would come out on top. Chief Olamide couldn't handle being mocked, but he could never seem to shut Mama Nkechi down. Then there was Chuka, a young man always scraping by, trying to make a living with his small barber shop by the gate. His shop was nothing more than a broken chair and a mirror that looked like it had been through more battles than he had. But whenever Chief Olamide passed by, he couldn't help but shake his head and mutter, Chuka, you're a disappointment. Still haven't paid your rent. You can't even keep your shop clean. If you don't pay today, I'll turn your shop into a chicken coop. Chuka would just chuckle awkwardly. Chief, I'm trying my best. Oh, the business is slow, but you know how it is. And Amara, the single lady living in flat 3, always had a unique relationship with Chief Olamide. She was sharp, witty, and had a certain charm that Chief Olamide couldn't resist. He'd strut past her flat, wearing his oversized shirts, and try to strike up a conversation, pretending to check on the compound, but secretly trying to impress her. One day, as Amara was filling a bucket of water at the tap, Chief Olamide approached her with his usual flattery. Amara, my beautiful tenant, if you just agreed to be with me, I could make your rent disappear. No more bills for you, I promise. Amara burst into laughter so loud that it echoed through the compound. Chief Olamide, you want me to trade my future for your belly? Even if you were the richest man in Africa, you still wouldn't be worth it. Not in my wildest dreams. The whole compound erupted in laughter, and Chief Olamide, despite his anger, tried to laugh it off, though deep inside He vowed to make Amara pay for that joke. He wasn't about to let a young woman disrespect him like that. Chief Olamide's behavior was legendary. If you didn't sweep your corridor, he would knock on your door and scream, "You're decorating my compound with dirt? Get out there and sweep it." If you smiled too much, he'd think you owed him money. And if you frowned too much, he'd accuse you of plotting against him. There was no winning. But the worst part of Chief Olamide's reign was his greed. Every year, he found a new reason to increase the rent. Cement prices have gone up, he'd say. The government raised taxes, he'd claim. And one year, he introduced a security fee after hearing about a burglary down the street, even though there was no new security guard. But nothing prepared the tenants for his latest scheme, a development fee. Chief Olamide announced that each tenant would have to pay a mandatory 20,000 naira for compound upgrades, which he claimed included new solar lights, repainting, and a new water tank. The announcement came on a Saturday, and the compound was already buzzing with activity. Mama Nkechi was at her post, smoking fish. Chuka was cutting hair in his shop, and Amara was sitting outside with her phone. Then Chief Olamide marched into the center of the compound holding a megaphone like he was running for president. "Attention! Attention!" he shouted. "I'm upgrading this compound for your comfort. You will all pay a 20,000 naira development levy immediately, or you will face consequences." There was a moment of silence before the compound exploded with anger. "What? 20,000 naira?" Mama Nkechi yelled. "Chief Olamide, what solar lights are you talking about?" "The ones that only shine inside your house?" Chuka added sarcastically. Amara rolled her eyes and folded her arms. "Chief, stop it. You've been promising us upgrades for years, but nothing ever changes. Just admit you're collecting money for your own pockets." Chief Olamide raised his hand as if to silence them, but the tenants weren't having it. "If you don't like it, pack your things and leave," he threatened, but it only fueled their anger. Then Amara stood up, her voice strong and clear. "People of Harmony Court, this landlord just told me that if I sleep with him, I won't have to pay rent anymore." The compound went silent for a moment, then erupted into laughter. Chuka couldn't stop himself, laughing loudly and saying, "So now we know why the rent is always going up. Chief Olemide's solar romance project." Amara pulled out her phone and said, "I've got the recording, Chief. Everyone will hear it." That evening, Amara uploaded the audio to the compound WhatsApp group, and by morning, it had gone viral. The whole street was talking about it. Even the street vendors couldn't stop gossiping about the solar love proposal. Chief Olamide, humiliated, swore revenge, but things were already spiraling out of control. The next morning, a letter arrived for Chief Olamide. It was from the Lagos Property Control Office. He was being investigated for illegal construction, fraudulent fees, and tenant harassment. The quiet man, Musa, who had barely spoken, had been gathering evidence on him for months. Musa wasn't just another tenant, he was an undercover property enforcement officer. Days later, Chief Olamide's empire came crumbling down. The officers arrived, the tenants cheered, and the viral video of him making a fool of himself played on repeat. By the end of the day, the property had been sealed off, and the tenants were celebrating their newfound freedom. And so, Harmony Court became a place of peace once again, just without the tyrant landlord. The tenants continued to live their lives, now with Kola, the former barber, as their new landlord. Even Chief Olamide had to pay rent like everyone else, and the whole neighborhood laughed at his downfall. In the end, Harmony Court truly lived up to its name, but only after the tyrant landlord had been humbled. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to give this story a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Stay tuned for more stories coming your way. Until next time, take care.